create your own unique insiders club and put the people in there who you want to associate with and have the habits that you aspire to have or the people that you aspire to be.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon. Tom Corley, previously episode 329 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been 2 years, 9 months, 1 day, 1 hour, and 15 minutes since we last spoke.
I'd like everyone to know that the quality of your habits determines the quality of your life.
That was then. This is now. Tom, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. A little hot here in New Jersey, but still we're doing okay.
Well, my friend, you can always come take a dip in the Caribbean Sea if need be. Yeah, we can cool you down. Let us know, right?
Would love to.
Well, the last time we spoke, we covered a ton of things, both personal and business. You are the author of 2 books that are doing extremely well. Let's dig into that. So, Rich Habits, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. I saw that there's a Chinese version now. Give us more, please.
Yeah, a lot has happened since we last talked. My books have gone international. I've got Rich Habits now is in Chinese in 2 languages, the simple Chinese and complex Chinese. It's in South Korean. It's in Vietnam. In fact, I rewrote Rich Habits. The second edition of Rich Habits was first published in India, I think in May or April.
Wow.
And the second edition was also published in Vietnam. So I have 2 books in India. I've got 2 books in Vietnam. I've got 2 books in China. Poland, they're working on 1 or 2 books. And, we have South Korea and, I don't know. So I've got a lot going on. I've got wrapping up a manuscript for my newest book called Guaranteed Wealth. So that'll be coming out, I don't know when, maybe next year sometime.
All right. So Guaranteed Wealth, I mean, like, what is it? Is it that I'm going to read that and be guaranteed wealth? Or
no,
is there a different spin?
So it's pretty cool. There's 4 paths to wealth. There's the saver investor path. There's the senior executive at large publicly held company path. There's the virtuoso path, which is becoming an expert in some niche. And then there's the dreamer or the entrepreneur path. The only path that's the guaranteed path to accumulating wealth is the saver investor path. So in the Guaranteed Wealth, I explain the habits that I uncovered in my research that virtually guarantee that you will become at least financially independent and in some cases wealthy. It just requires that you follow 19 principles or smart money habits. And I cover every stage of your life, when you get engaged to when you get married to when you get your first apartment and then when you start having kids, and it takes you all the way through retirement. There's a lot of stages in everyone's life. So it's going to be a pretty cool book.
That's intriguing. My ears perk immediately because I think... So the thing that popped into my mind immediately was the difference between being wealthy and being successful. Would you agree, or if that's even accurate?
Yeah, well, there's really 7 types of wealth. There's money wealth, which some people consider to be where you have a certain amount of money and you no longer need to work. That's when you're money wealthy. So then there's health wealth. There's relationship wealth, there's peace of mind wealth, and I get into other areas of that too. So, it all depends on what you're after. If you're after the money wealth, really, in order to be wealthy, you just need to create a stream of income that covers your monthly nut plus taxes, So it's basically not tied into any one number. Although in my Rich Habits study, the rich people in my study, in order to qualify, they had to have $3.2 million in net liquid wealth and $160,000 in income. So really, wealth it all depends on your standard of living.
I agree, because within the US, 160K is a lot in other parts of the world, right? Well, let's not even say India or the Philippines, even in the Caribbean, you're looking at that's like 1 point something million TT dollars, for example.
Right.
So yeah, most definitely. But it's great to see that there are principles that you are sharing that individuals can read about and access, apply, and have that guaranteed wealth. So where's the best place for people that are listening to go to find out more?
Well, you go to my richhabits.net, and I haven't even approached my publisher yet with the final version. So if you go to richhabits.net, everything that's in my books, Angel, is really on my website, and it's free to everybody. So the purpose of the books is really to peel the onion a little bit more and to get into more depth than I'm able to do on my website. But really, the bulk of the information that makes its way into all of my books. And I've got 4 right now, Rich Habits, Rich Kids, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, and Rich Habits, Poor Habits. And this new one, Guaranteed Wealth. So it's all on the website. It's just, you have to search for it, and it's there though.
Yeah, there's a ton of content that you have there because you've been speaking quite a bit as well, right? Going on all of these programs.
Yeah, I just came back from Australia. I did a couple of speaking gigs there. My publisher in Vietnam told me that the books are selling really well, so now they want to bring me to Vietnam. I went to Vietnam last year to speak with, I don't know if you ever heard of Mark Victor Hansen, but he was the co-author of Chicken Soup of the Soul with Jack Canfield. We were the 2 top speakers at the Vietnam event. So I like going and speaking all over the world because believe it or not, people, when they see you up there and you're talking about it, a lot of the information that you share in books and writing, it's one way to learn. But when you actually see someone, the emotions get involved. And so that's why I like to do everything, the speaking, the writing, the media interviews, etc.
Yeah, so let's talk about how this has been affecting your children specifically. The last time we spoke, you had 3 children, right? 1 boy,
That's
2
right.
girls.
Yeah, good memory.
Yeah, thank you. How has it affected them?
Well, it was pretty cool that in Australia, I usually talk about in one of the presentations I give, I talk about how the rich habits really impacted my son. And I've been telling the story for years. Well, my son was there with me in Australia, so I actually brought my son up and had him tell the story about how he found a mentor where he worked and how that mentor actually helped him go from really struggling where he was working, which is a big publicly held company, to being one of the top 3 top salespeople in the world. So I told him when he was struggling, find a mentor. You need a mentor internally. Mentors they're the fast track to wealth. And sure enough, within a year of finding that mentor, he got a big bonus, a huge bonus. And they flew him to Portugal, and it was pretty amazing. It was a pretty amazing story. So, that was one of the lessons and the importance of finding mentors.
One of the things I've encountered in reading about wealth as well is the spouse, the power of the spouse. How has that been going for you? You've been married as well.
Yeah, I'm married, and my wife is, she was one of the, when I started this Rich Habits research and the study and writing the books, she pushed back. She did not want me to do any of that. She really fought me every step of the way. And then she began to see how it was improving our lives, right? She saw that what I was doing was not only helping all of us become better at whatever it was that we were doing, but it was also generating much more income. All the different businesses that I run, they were generating more income. And she said, wow, she started really trying to understand the rich habits a little bit more. And now she's become my biggest supporter.
That's wonderful to hear. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to hear. Another aspect of our conversation touched on that particular time, the January before when we spoke. Your mother passed recently, and obviously that affected you. I'd like to know, how does that conversation go within everything that you're doing, that conversation of death, that we are going to die?
Well, what it highlighted for me is the importance of really trying to help people, whatever you do, while as much as you can, because your life is short. So I really looked at it and I said, my God, I really got to I doubled down on my efforts. I said, I don't want to be, 90 years old. My mom died at about 88. I don't want to be 90 years old and think, I should have worked harder at trying to get, the rich habits out there because I knew it would help more people. So I thought about it and I said, this is evidence that we have a short lifespan and that we have to use the time we have so wisely and not waste it, time wasting habits like watching TV. And, the importance is the relationships that we have with people. That's what makes you happy. And that relationship wealth is one of the most important types of wealth that you can have. And so, I've been reaching out to my relationships, trying to do more for them, trying to do more good in this world through the nonprofits that I'm affiliated with. So yeah, her death and my father's death in 2013, that really opened up my eyes a little bit about how short life is.
I want to say thank you, my friend. Thank you for being true to who you are. You said when we first spoke that people with passion are persistent, and you are obviously functioning in your passion because you continue to persist. And that is both motivating and inspiring to me and those that are listening. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be your podcast accountability partner and check in here and say, Tom, are you doing what you said you would be doing? Again, it gives great joy. In closing, my friend, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, I just want everyone to know that your inner circle defines the circumstances of your life, because habits spread like a virus. Your emotions spread like a virus within your inner circle. If there's one thing I could recommend to everybody is create your own unique insiders club and put the people in there who you want to associate with to be the kind of people who share your goals and your dreams and have the habits that you aspire to have, or the people that you aspire to be.
Tom, again, a great pleasure, a pleasure I treasure, my friend. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.